I am here with Milo, who is our foster puppy, and he needs his forever home. And his name was Dex, but it reminded me too much of sex, so I changed it to Milo. And he is half beagle, half rat terrier, and he's such a cute little ball of joy, and I love him. And we're also here with my golden retriever, Cooper. But he's a little too big to pick up and share everybody right now. But hey, welcome to the conversation. My name's Dan Candell. I'm known worldwide as the Anxiety Relief Guy. And then today, I'm going to share the implication of this one thing that can make you going from on top of the world and happy to crashing down, feeling completely insecure in a matter of minutes. And if it hasn't happened in your life, chances are it probably will, especially in 2025. I've been working with so many individual clients lately to the point where I'm probably in the next couple of months going to cut off my schedule. So I probably will no longer take clients new clients after the next couple of months for a little while until I work down my waiting list. But I would say a good 80 to 85% of my current clientele and the people in my groups are dealing with this one thing that I'm going to tell you. And here it is. It is the feeling of being in limbo, the feeling of not knowing, and that feeling of when your world can come crumbling down at any moment. Here's why this is so toxic. It's so toxic because your nervous system learns in those moments to go into fight or flight and to brace for impact. It's almost like you're waiting for it's almost like you're waiting to get into an accident and you know it's going to happen at some point, but you don't know when, you don't know where, you just know that sometime in the next week you're going to get into an accident. And that's what it's like for your nervous system when you're in limbo. And I've been working with, like I said, 80 or 85% of my clients through challenges, tragedies, and chaos that makes them feel like they're on edge, like everything is uncertain, and like they're about to lose their cool or go into a mental breakdown at any moment. I've experienced this for many times in my life. And as a person who's had a lot of trauma, specifically growing up, a lot of trauma, I've also had a lot of trauma in my professional life as well. I love what I do. It has nothing to do with my clients. It has nothing to do with the people that I've worked with or who joined my programs. But it's really from people who have worked for me before that's caused some of that on edge or uneasiness. One of the times in the past couple of years where I felt it, and the reason why I'm going to tell you about this is because it's just going to help you say, something like that has happened in my life. When my dad became very sick back in 2019, 2018, 2019, it was like a progression. And towards the end of his life, our entire family and him, we felt like we were walking on eggshells, waiting for the next shoe to drop, just waiting for the inevitable to happen. And we didn't know when it was going to happen, where it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. Of course, I'm talking about his passing. And we all felt like we were in limbo. And we felt like we had to stop our lives. Now, we didn't know if we were going to have to stop our lives for days, for weeks, or for months. And so I canceled all of my travel plans. I canceled most of my clients, and people are like, when are you going to start traveling again? When are you going to go on tour again? When are you going to start performing again? When are you going to start seeing clients again? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And it was a few months of that, and then my dad eventually did pass. And so many people that I work with, they describe their lives or their businesses as being, or certain parts of their life as like being in limbo, like just living in the space of uncertainty. And I want to share with you just a little bit of insight and maybe some advice on how to deal with that. The first thing that I'll tell you is throughout these times of being and dealing with uncertainty and being in limbo, always make sure that you set aside time for yourself. Integrate something in your life that does give you a sense of control or a sense of something you know what to expect. And Fill your life with something or a couple of things that you can begin and end, that has a definite beginning and a definite end. This could be something as small as crocheting a blanket or knitting a scarf. It has a definite beginning and a definite end. It could be something like a project that you do or that you're pouring energy into. So that way, it still keeps you in the mindset of doing something that's purposeful and productive, and it still gives you a sense of security and being in control. The second thing is, this is an opportunity for you to learn things and for you to embrace what we call radical proactive acceptance. A lot of people misinterpret acceptance. And one of my clients actually said, well, Dan, if I'm living in acceptance, does that mean I agree with what's happening, or I want it to keep happening, or I just like give up and submit to it? And I said, no, it means the exact opposite of that. In fact, that's why I call it radical proactive acceptance. Because you agree that what is happening in your life is happening, you're taking whatever lessons from it, but it doesn't have to define you. You don't have to be a victim of it. I'll give you an example of this. Let's say, and this is the idea of embracing acceptance. I asked one of my clients, when's a time where you really embraced radical proactive acceptance? And she goes, I got one. I said, perfect, give it to me. She said, my fiance and I, we were taking a walk. We were about a mile away from our house and it started to sprinkle. So we started to walk faster. And then it started to rain a little bit harder. So we started to like jog back to our house. And she said, then the skies opened up and it started pouring buckets. And she said there was this point where we just embraced this level of acceptance. And she said, we just stopped for a minute, looked at each other and laughed and just slowed down and kept walking, because we couldn't possibly get more wet than we already were. So they embraced what was happening and they continued walking, they continued moving through the rain. Acceptance in the way that people think it means, people think, oh, if it was pouring like that, then they just stop in the rain and they just stop there and they just sit in the rain and they do not move until it stops raining. That's not acceptance. And certainly that's not proactive radical acceptance. So these challenges, these conflicts that you might be going through that cause you to feel like you're losing control, or cause you to feel like the unknown is happening or the unexpected, or you don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, you're in this space of limbo. This is a great opportunity for you to practice proactive radical acceptance. And by doing so, it also helps you live in the present. And all we really have is the present. That's all we really have. By doing things, and they could be projects, they could be crafts, they could be business things, doing something that gives you a sense of control in this area of your life will actually help provide you with stronger mental resources in this area of your life. What I'm about to say, I hate to say this because it sounds very life coachy. It sounds very fortune cookie-ish. But this is what I told people around like 2020 to 2021. Because that's when a lot of people just lost it and like felt like they were losing their minds. It's okay to not be okay. I know, but you know what, but you make me okay. Come here, you make me okay. It's okay to not be okay. For a certain amount of time. Like I said, some people, when they come into, how do I want to say this? When some people experience an event or a situation that makes them not okay, some people just freeze. That's not radical proactive acceptance. Like I said, that's giving up. And one of the things we don't want to do is give up. And if you think, I know, if you think it's okay to not be okay, if you think that means giving up, you've missed the meaning of that statement. It's okay to not feel okay as long as you are moving through something. one of the things that was very empowering, my dad's illness and even his passing, it was gut-wrenching, it was hard, it was sad, it was visceral. It was also very healing and empowering in a way, because I saw him, and my dad, it's funny, his son was the anxiety relief guy, and he was one of the most anxious guys that I know, but he was also from that generation where like hard work, grit, you know, and so I saw my dad eventually come to this level of peace with the realization that his life was ending and that he was going to move on or beyond in some way. So even in tragedy, even in triumph, even in loss, even in pain, there are lessons. Look for the lessons in these things. Look for the lessons, even when you're in limbo, even when you don't know, look for the lessons. Embrace radical proactive acceptance and do something that's going to give you a sense of peace or a sense of control, and just keep moving through the thing. This is something that some people may need help with. And if you do need help with this, that's what I do. That's what I specialize in. I specialize in helping people deal with conflict and chaos. I help people give them a sense of control back over their lives so their life gets easier and things just feel more at peace, so they don't have to carry around the effects of trauma and everything like that. If you would like to explore what it's like to work with me or join my inner circle, then there's a link right below this video that will help you do that, and that will give you some options of what it's like to work with me. There's also going to be another video linked down below that describes who I work with, how I work with people, and my entire program, if you'd like to explore that as well. I hope this video is quality. I'm using a new camera. I'm using the Osmo Pocket 3 to film this, and the DJI microphone. So I hope this came out well. I hope it drowned out some sounds, because there's thunder in the background, there were planes flying by, there's dogs barking. So anyway, with that said, follow my page for more. Make sure you rate, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a comment. And as always, let me know how this relates to you in the comments section. As always, be well, do good, be true to who you are, and happy healing. Bye for now.